Welcome to the Talkin Texas Rangers podcast. I am your host, Larry Lease. Today, we're diving into the latest news from Go Life Field. But first, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Game Time. If you're looking for the best place to buy tickets to the next Rangers game with great customer service and the best prices, you're going to want to check out Game Time. Link will be in the description. If you use that link, you can help support the show. So on to today's first topic. Adolis Garcia's 2022 season is proving last year wasn't a fluke. People had their doubts about, including Texas Rangers fans, about whether dynamic outfielder Adolis Garcia could repeat his breakout rookie season in 2021 as a second-year player in 2022. And he has quelled those doubts pretty easily. With 15 home runs and a .786 OPS heading into Sunday's game against the Nationals, he's on pace to eclipse the 31 homers he swatted, in 2021, the year that made him an all-star. He also had 11 stolen bases, putting him on potential pace for 30-30 season, a feat not seen on the Rangers since Ian Kinsler back in 2011. And as far as his flair for the dramatic goes, yep, Garcia's got that too. The 29-year-old is who you would call a late bloomer, as he burst on the scene as a 28-year-old rookie last year. His advanced age made some question if Garcia would be too old to form part of a future winning core in Texas. But his ability to keep playing at a high level means the Rangers should keep him around. This is especially true given that the organization isn't exactly a hotbed of outfield talent right now. Garcia won't wow you with his on-base skills with a career OBP of .285. Though he has improved his plate discipline in 2022, a positive sign going forward. His big-time power, elite defense, and speed on the base paths have all more than made up for the lack of on-base skills. He's also a fan favorite for the way he plays the game with energy and swag. Having that energy on the field can change the dynamic on the field and the stadium aspects, which can't be quantified in statistics. Sure, he'll never beat Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, Bryce Harper, or Aaron Judge, but you'd be remiss to say you wouldn't want to have Adolis Garcia on your team. He's proving to us in 2022 that 2021 could have been just the tip of the iceberg. Let us know in the comment section below, what do you think about Garcia's season so far? And of course, before we move on, hit that thumbs up button if you like our video. Subscribe to the channel for more content on the Texas Rangers. And if you want to support the show, you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/TTRangers. Your support helps the channel grow, upgrade our equipment, bring in new hosts, create new shows, and even better content, be able to pay those new hosts, and hopefully one day take this show on the road. We'd love to honestly stream live from Globe Life Field. That's one goal we have, and your support can help make that happen. And now, of course, on to our weekly report. The Texas Rangers had Father's Day weekend series in Detroit. It did not go as planned. The Rangers ended up splitting the series with the Tigers 2-2. The Rangers did return home, for a quick 2-game series with the Philadelphia Phillies and swept them in front of the home crowd. The Rangers had to make a couple of demotions this week, and of course, we'll mention those in our weekly report. So first off, on the Who's Hot, we get the Rangers minor league system. The minor league system had one heck of a week. We had multiple triples to grand slams hit this past week. The Rangers' future is bright, and fans should be very excited with the depth we have at the Rangers' disposal. Next up, Nathaniel Lowe. Lowe has been pretty consistently getting on base this week, which the Rangers need right now. In the last week, Lowe has had 6 hits, 4 RBIs, and a home run. With him being on a 1-year arbitration deal, and if he continues making an impact on the field, could he be available at the trade deadline to make room for Josh Jung next season? The Rangers have a big decision to make if teams call about him. And Martin Perez. Perez is showing why he was named the American League Pitcher of the Month again. In the 2 games he started this week, he has 11 Ks and only allowed 1 run, and that was against the Tigers. Once again, the Rangers will have another tough decision at the trade deadline, whether to keep Perez or trade him while his trade stock is high. If you go up here, we have a video our last episode discussing what they should do at the trade deadline. So you can check it out right here. Next up, Josh Smith. It was announced on Tuesday that Josh Smith was activated from the IL after he injured his shoulder earlier this month. Even though he didn't make much of an impact this week since just returning on Tuesday, it's great to see him back on the field this weekend for this weekend's home series against the Nationals. John Gray, he had another fantastic week on the mound as a Texas Ranger. In the 2 games that he started, he only allowed 2 runs and struck out 11 batters. We're finally seeing the John Gray that we expected when he signed that huge contract during the offseason. Sometimes you just got to give a player time before he shows results. And yes, now we got to deal with the elephant in the room, and that is, who's not hot? First up, Taylor Hearn. After allowing Detroit to score 8 runs off of him, which is a season record for the Tigers, the Hearn starting pitcher experiment might be finally coming to an end. Hearn was moved back to the bullpen, where I do believe he has a future in this league there. Of course, we do have some news about that we'll discuss later on. Next up, Willie Calhoun. It was announced on Thursday that the Texas Rangers would be trading Willie Calhoun to the Giants for outfield Steven Dugar and cash considerations. I'm actually surprised that we were able to find a trade partner for Calhoun's contract, but the Rangers did it, and I wish Willie the best as he looks to restart his career with the Giants. Next up, Dane Dunning. I can tell you it wasn't Dane time on Father's Day this past Sunday, as he had a terrible game. Even though he only allowed 4 hits, those hits resulted in 5 earned runs, putting the Texas Rangers out of a chance of winning the series in Detroit. He's starting to look like Taylor Hearn, where he has an excellent outing followed by a bad one. That's something that Ranger fans should be very concerned about. And starting today, for the next 3 days, the Rangers have an away series against the Kansas City Royals. And now on to our next topic. But of course, before we do that, let us know in the comment section below. Did we miss anybody in the who's hot, who's not list? Let us know in the comment section below and give us your take. But now, on to our next topic. Willie Calhoun's trade was a win. It was a win-win for the Texas Rangers and Calhoun himself. And it's the end of an era in Arlington and a sad day as the Texas Rangers announced that they traded outfielder and DH Willie Calhoun in cash considerations to the San Francisco Giants in exchange for outfielder Steven Duran. To say things didn't go as planned with Calhoun and the Rangers would be severely understating what transpired between the two sides. Once a high-ceiling prospect brimming with potential, the 27-year-old was considered to be the prize of the 2017 Yu Darvish swap with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Yeah, so much for that. All is not lost, though, as Texas still has pitcher A.J. Alexy, also acquired in the Darvish deal in the minors, and they picked up a serviceable player in his own right, Steven Dugar, as a return for Calhoun, now donning black and orange. The Texas Rangers closed the book on the Yu Darvish trade by trading Willie Calhoun to the Giants. Injuries marred Calhoun's chances of ever succeeding in Texas, as he was never able to replicate a solid 2019 campaign in which he slugged 21 homers along with 847 OPS. Even if he ends up thriving with the Giants, which is quite possible, just know that it wasn't going to pan out for the Bay Area native as a member of the Rangers. The breakup benefits both Calhoun and the Rangers, as the former gets his change of scenery and can now have a homecoming of sorts, while the latter can use Dugar as a fourth outfielder, akin to Eli White's role before he went down with injury. Dugar was hitting just 194 prior to straining his oblique, but he's not expected to be a starting outfielder. If you're underwhelmed by Dugar, and I don't blame you there, consider that getting something of value for Calhoun, who was previously disgruntled, is actually a win for the Rangers, as opposed to simply caving in and granting him his release for nothing in return. Like I said, the book is now closed on the Yu Darvish trade, with it not being very successful for the Rangers. But that chapter is behind us, while a new one has opened. So now we're going to wait and see how this new deal shapes up moving forward. And now on to our next topic. Taylor Hearn and Ezekiel Duran are heading to Round Rock. The Rangers have optioned pitcher Taylor Hearn and infielder Ezekiel Duran to AAA Round Rock, the team announced. While the official moves to replace Hearn and Duran on the active roster will be officially announced later, barring something exceptional, the team will be activating Glenn Otto from the COVID IL and adding the just acquired Steven Dugard to the roster. The Rangers also announced that Spencer Patton, who was designated for assignment on Thursday when the Rangers acquired Steven and had to add him to the 40-man roster, has cleared waivers and been assigned outright to AAA Round Rock. The Rangers will need to make another move to clear a 40-man spot for Otto when he is activated for later this week. Duran was called up from AA Frisco to replace Josh Smith, but Smith went on the injured list. Duran has a respectable 258, 281, 435 slash line, but has slowed after a hot start to his major league career. The Rangers were going to be hard-pressed to get playing time for both Smith and Duran. Given that Duran was called up to fill, and while Smith was out, his being sent down to make room for Dugard seems like the most likely move. The decision to send down Hearn to clear a roster spot for Otto is surprising. It had previously been announced that Hearn would be pitching out of the bullpen this weekend and was expected to pitch this past weekend, so it appeared that he wasn't likely to be in the rotation going forward. Still, I thought Hearn would stay on the active roster with either Brett Martin or John King being sent down. However, with the Rangers not needing a fifth starter again until July 5th, and with Hearn having gone 49 pitches, Hearn ended up being the odd man out. Hearn threw 4 shutout no-hit innings against the Nationals, but generated just 4 swings and misses, striking out just 1 batter against 2 walks, and his command was once again less than ideal. So for the time being, the Rangers will have a 9-man bullpen again, and we will see once July 5th rolls around what the plan is for that 5th spot in the rotation. Let us know in the comments section below. What did you think about Taylor? Do you think the Rangers made the right decision? And of course, please follow us on Good Pods. You can find us on all major podcast platforms. Give us a review. And if you want to support the show, buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/TTR/TT-Rangers. That's buymeacoffee.com/TT-Rangers. Your support helps the channel grow. As always, thank you so much for watching and listening. We will see you next time.